Craig, thank you so much for joining me. I know this is very difficult for you. You were a bystander and you find yourself in the center of this very controversial case. And I know you're speaking for the first time to the media in our exclusive. Tell us what you saw. It was around 9 in the morning, a November day in 2010. You were near the location. You hear gunshots. Tell us what happens after that.
First off, thank you for having me. I apologize that I can't be in studio, but unfortunately something came up that I couldn't do that. I was pulling up to the post office, basically, and was getting out, and I heard the gunshot at first, and I turned around as I was walking up. I saw Hemi very casually walking back to his vehicle, and at first it seemed very surreal when I'm standing there at 9:07 a.m. and I'm waiting for basically movie cameras to come along and say, hold on, wait, just replay that again, because it was just crazy, the disguise that he had on, from the fake beard, from the sun just glaring on his gun as he was casually walking back to the minivan. And I still thought up until the point he got to the door that this was still just some sort of movie setup. And then when he got into his vehicle and I saw him struggling to put the car in reverse, that's when I knew that this was serious. Instead of him putting his foot on the brake, you can tell he tried to throw it right in reverse and take off. But I think that's when the adrenaline might have hit him. And then, we came up on the Rusty, and that was just an awful morning for many families.
Well, you saw the killer screech away, is how you described it at one point in a court document that I read. In other words, he's panicked. He can't even put the car in gear, but then he finally gets it in gear, and he screeches away. Is that how you saw it? In other words, somebody fleeing that's a sign of guilt right there.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. As soon as the car he went right around and took right back off, left the scene just like that.
Now, when you turned around, what did you see in terms of Rusty Sneiderman? Where was he lying? We're looking at the crime scene video right now. There's the daycare. He's just lying on the ground in the parking lot?
Yeah, basically, and as I was trying to call 911 to hurry up and get somebody, after this guy, we started to assist Rusty as best as we could, and I just remember, feeling his pulse, and my wife saying, don't touch him, it's a crime scene, And I told my wife, I go, I have to see if he's alive. What am I supposed to do? It was a very chaotic scene, and all I could just remember is just the blood just pooling.
Was he conscious?
No, he was definitely not conscious. He was gasping for air, so you could hear him, like just the gasping part, and it was very hard.
I could tell. I could tell that this has haunted you. This has haunted you, obviously, to have witnessed this and to have been trying to save this man as he's bleeding to death. What has it done to you? Have you had dreams about this?
It's been up until about a week ago, when this started coming around again, is when it started to come back to life, obviously. But from the time that this happened, it has definitely put a strain on me and my family, especially those first couple of months when they didn't know who did it, and they were saying it was a possible hit, and it was very hard. It was very hard, walking my dog carrying a gun, wondering if somebody's watching me at the same time. It's been difficult, to say the least.
There are reports that Andrea Sneiderman, who cops had said was part of this plan, who they believe orchestrated the hit, may have all the murder charges dropped against her tomorrow. How do you feel about that?
That's a good question. I feel that justice will be served. For her to walk away, I just don't see how that's even fathomable. I couldn't imagine that even coming to pass. I really can't.
But if it does,
Well, as of late, the last couple of court cases, I guess I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think you're referring to some of the verdicts like somebody just mentioned, the Casey Anthony case. But listen, she deserves the presumption of innocence in a court of law. She has not been convicted. I know you have to be very careful about this, but ultimately she did arrive on the scene. Is there anything you feel comfortable telling us about her arrival? I mean, even how quickly did she show up?
I can unfortunately not comment on that. That's something that we're going to be talking about when we take the stand next week. That's something that I cannot comment.